In the years since the world was first introduced to the Brown family on Alaskan Bush People, time has carried them through unimaginable transformations, triumphs, and heartbreaks. Once known as the Wolfpack, a tight-knit clan surviving off-grid in Alaska's wild frontier, they have now scattered across states, each carving a life that both honors and defies the legacy of their patriarch, Billy Brown. The show began in 2014 as a daring experiment in family unity and frontier survival, but in 2025, their story continues far beyond the cameras. When Alaskan Bush People premiered on Discovery Channel more than a decade ago, few could have predicted how deeply its characters would burrow into the hearts of viewers. Billy and Ami Brown stood as symbols of self-reliance, raising 7 children in near isolation, teaching them to hunt, build, and survive in nature's raw embrace. The audience watched as the Brown kids grew from wilderness children into complex adults, their lives unfolding in ways both fascinating and painful. Even as critics questioned how much of the show was real, the emotional truths behind their struggles resonated. Yet, after Billy's death in 2021, the center of their world collapsed, and what followed was a slow, fragile rebuilding that continues today. Ami Brown, now 72, carries her husband's spirit like a quiet fire. She has known the hardest forms of loss, first battling lung cancer during the show's 8th season, then losing her partner of more than 40 years. Against all odds, Ami's cancer went into remission, and she has spent the years since rediscovering life without Billy. Fans often see her through her gentle social media updates, smiling in Washington, surrounded by greenery, her tone warm but wistful. She still calls her children "my wolves," and though the family no longer lives together, she remains the pack's beating heart. Her eldest son, Matt Brown, has lived perhaps the most difficult life of all. He left the show in 2019 amid growing struggles with addiction. For years, his absence left fans guessing, but over time he began to speak openly about his experiences, alleging that behind-the-scenes pressures and financial disputes on the show contributed to his breakdown. He claimed that though Alaskan Bush People brought fame and wealth to the family, he saw none of it, and that his father controlled the finances. While his words were painful to hear, they were also cathartic. A man reclaiming his story after years of silence. Today, Matt lives in solitude near the North Cascades, tending orchards and documenting his recovery online. His YouTube videos are raw and simple, often just him, a camera, and reflections on small victories. "If we slowly, diligently work toward success, we'll get there," he told followers in May 2025, his tone humble but hopeful. Though estranged from his siblings and mother, Matt's life has come full circle. Meanwhile, his brother Joshua Bam Bam Brown has chosen a life of deliberate simplicity. Always the calmest member of the Wolfpack, Bam was never drawn to fame. After years of speculation about his relationship with producer Allison Kagan, he remains mostly silent about his personal life, focusing instead on preserving the family's history. In 2025, he reappeared online to relaunch AlaskanBushPeople.com, a digital home for fans and a tribute to his father's memory. The website sells everything from Billy's autobiography, One Wave at a Time, to North Star Ranch hoodies and handmade crafts, each item echoing the rugged authenticity of their brand. Though some saw it as a business move, it felt more like a gesture of loyalty, a son trying to keep the story alive when the cameras stopped rolling. Among the brothers, however, none has drawn more fascination or empathy than Bear Brown. Known for his boundless energy and fearless spirit, Bear was the adventurer of the family, always pushing boundaries. Yet beneath the wild persona lies a man shaped by loss, heartbreak, and determination to rebuild. When Bear lost his father, the grief cut deep. He often posts photos of Billy and Ami from their younger years, captioned simply with words like, "Miss the days he was still here." Those glimpses reveal a tender side of the once unbreakable king of extreme. In recent years, Bear's life has shifted dramatically. After marrying Raven Adams, the couple welcomed 3 sons but faced turbulent times that eventually led to separation. Bear tried to stay close to his family, first setting up their lives in Texas before moving briefly to Washington and later planning a solo trip to Alaska. His travel vlogs showed a man yearning to reconnect with his roots, taking only the bare essentials: a few snacks, lighters, and his father's ashes. "I just needed to be back where it all began," he told fans, his voice quiet, reflective. In those moments, the once reckless Bear seemed transformed, no longer chasing thrills but meaning. Raven, meanwhile, has been navigating single motherhood with remarkable strength. After their split, she relocated to Florida to be closer to her mother and better medical resources for her middle child, Cove, who was diagnosed with autism. She revealed the diagnosis in 2025, explaining that Florida offered more support than Texas. Single mom of 3 boys, 5 and under, conquering school drop-off. She captioned a video that showed her packing bags and guiding her sons with patience and grace. For fans who once knew her as Bear's partner in chaos, this new chapter revealed her as a devoted mother determined to give her children stability, even if it meant leaving the past behind. While Bear sought peace in the wilderness, his brother Gabe Brown welcomed new life into the world. Gabe and his wife, Raquel, had long kept their private life shielded from public eyes. But in 2025, fans learned that they had quietly welcomed their 3rd child. The news, confirmed by Bear in a jubilant post: a new member of the Wolfpack, delighted viewers who had watched the family endure so much loss. Bird Brown even stepped in as the world's proudest aunt, babysitting Gabe's daughters to give the new parents rest. Away from parenting, Gabe has been channeling his creativity into music, often posting videos of himself performing acoustic songs in outfits that mix country soul with a touch of punk rock flair, a nod to his wife's style. "It's not perfect, but what is?" he wrote under one performance, reminding fans that authenticity, not perfection, defines him. Though his eyeliner and Elvis-inspired jackets might raise eyebrows, Gabe remains unapologetically himself, an artist shaped by wilderness, loss, and love. Elsewhere, Noah Brown's journey has taken a more introspective path. Known for his inventive mind and mechanical genius on the show, Noah's recent life has been marked by heartbreak and soul-searching. After separating from his wife, Rain, with whom he shares 2 children, Noah decided to return to Alaska, retracing the landscapes of his youth. Fans grew concerned when he suddenly went silent online after missing a ferry to his island home, but their worry turned to relief when he reappeared days later, smiling beside his RV, parked along a serene riverbank. "I just needed to come back," he said. That return to Haines, where the family once spent their formative years, seemed to revive him. Noah filmed his travels through old campsites and riverbanks, narrating the memories attached to each place. His reflections on mental strength and healing felt like the musings of a man rebuilding from within. Observant fans noticed a newfound glow in his videos and speculated that perhaps someone new had entered his life. Rumors of a possible romance sparked after he described a local event with a tone that hinted at something, or someone, special. Though Noah has stayed silent about the speculation, his contented smile says enough. Amid these changing tides, Snowbird Brown's journey remains one of profound courage. In 2022, she was rushed to surgery after doctors discovered 2 ovarian tumors, one weighing 8 pounds and the other 4. The ordeal was terrifying for fans who had watched her grow up on screen. Though the tumors proved benign, the experience left her facing a difficult decision. Doctors warned that only a full hysterectomy could prevent future recurrence, a choice that would mean giving up the dream of having children. Yet Bird's strength never wavered. Over the years, she's continued undergoing tests and treatments to ensure her health, sharing occasional updates with her followers. In late 2023, she reassured fans that her scans looked good, though doctors had found something they were still monitoring. By 2024, she confirmed that the tumors had not returned, and by 2025, she was well enough to begin a new chapter, launching her own YouTube channel. "It's going to take me a little time to learn," she told fans, "but I'm working on it." She may no longer live in the wilderness, but the spirit that defined Bird remains untamed. And then there is Rain Brown, the family's youngest, whose life has taken a turbulent turn. Known for her optimism and deep empathy, Rain shocked fans in 2025 when she and her husband, Josiah Lorton, were arrested in Okanogan County, Washington, on charges of burglary and malicious mischief. The incident, linked to what Rain later described as a financial dispute with her former manager, left her followers divided. Days after her release, Rain broke her silence with an emotional Instagram post. "Judge not that ye be not judged." In her caption, she accused the same manager of stealing $43,000 and spreading false stories. "It hurts my heart," she wrote, "that people would believe lies instead of waiting to hear my side." Rain's romance with Josiah had once seemed like a fairy tale. They met while working at a restaurant, she as a waitress, he as the head chef, and fell in love almost instantly. "It was like magnets," she once said, describing how they couldn't stay apart. By late 2024, she had changed her last name to Lorton, and by early 2025, she confirmed their marriage. Yet only months later, the arrest cast shadows over their happiness. Still, Rain's resolve to rebuild remains firm. Fans who grew up watching her evolve from a curious child to a resilient young woman continue to rally around her, hoping she finds clarity amid the chaos. As each Brown sibling navigates their own story, the family's collective legacy hangs in balance. Since Alaskan Bush People quietly ended in 2022 after 14 seasons, the network has neither canceled nor renewed it, officially describing the series as on hiatus. The silence has fueled speculation among fans, though most have accepted that the era of televised Wolfpack adventures may be over. And perhaps that's fitting, because what began as a show about survival has evolved into something more authentic. Each member now lives their own version of the wild, not defined by forests or cabins, but by resilience, reflection, and the ongoing search for peace. In 2025, their story is no longer about surviving the wilderness. It's about surviving life itself.